So I haven't been able to record anything for a while as I was down with a fever and I had another round of awakening, and I suppose recently I found out that it's very likely that what happened the last time in the void and now is something to do with some kind of Kundalini awakening. So this is something I'm been trying to look into, but for now I wanted to maybe try to talk a bit more about what happened in the void and more about how I survived it. And honestly, if you ask me, I'm not entirely sure how I survived. I just know that I fought for my life because I don't really know how I crashed into it in the first place. I know I had been very stressed, very lonely, and been isolated for a while. I lost my job and I broke up in a relationship which lasted for a very long time, and things didn't work out, so I was quite depressed. And I guess I started to find out more about who I really am, my soul, my consciousness, and things started to maybe pile up on me. Maybe something to do with past life or something like that. Not like I truly believe in such things, but I suppose some things started to kind of come to me, and I saw what my life really was like, and I understood that I had been maybe stuck repeating the same patterns for a very long time. So I had been trying to come out from it, but it got worse. And I was trying to fight the collapse. I felt like before it happened, it was like as if I was preparing for it. I knew something was gonna happen, something big. I even had a vision of myself, down. So I started to avoid people because I had this very strange feeling that I would just awaken people just by, looking at them or something. I was quite paranoid, honestly, during this period. Reality was also behaving really very strange for me. And it was quite hard to tell what was real and what was not. It was like I was dreaming, and it was difficult to understand what was true. So I think when I was collapsing, I tried to record as many things as I possibly can. So I tracked down my activities, like maybe I went to the toilet, what time it was, or I ate, I drank water, and things like that. And I was trying to regulate as much as I can, like taking cold showers and resting and meditating and things like that. It was quite interesting because it was as if my body understood instinctively what I needed to do. Things like meditation, and I even remembered I was trying to align my chakras. That was also quite interesting because I'm not really very familiar with such things. I mean, I do know about the concept of chakras and things like that, but when I was down, I had one of my collected pebble. I have a pebble. I call it my autistic pebble for fun. I had it for many years, So I took that pebble and I kind of massage the chakra area around my body to, regulate it. So I was stroking the rock up and down my torso. At least, yeah, it was my torso mostly. I think I remembered that some parts were a little blocked, and then I stroked a bit more the rock around the area. And this is also kind of one of the. And back then I didn't know about things like. I mean, I heard about Kundalini, but I wasn't really very familiar. What is it? So, but this kind of instinctive kind of behavior was how I suspected that I had a Kundalini awakening during the collapse. I think I was mostly lying down, so I wasn't really doing many stretches or movements because I was just mostly lying down most of the time. I do not know why. I was very afraid to move, mostly like just staying still and trying to enter a state of stillness. And when I was trying to, recover, I tried to regulate myself mostly. So how did I fight the void? It was quite interesting. I had like maybe two sides of me, and this is probably something I talk about. So the one side that I am more familiar of is probably the same side that is talking right now. Now this side was fighting in the body, mostly holding the body, keeping the body down. What I felt like I was trying to do was when I was lying down, lying on my back, and my hands were also straight, like pressing the bed. It was like I was trying to ground myself to the bed as much as I could, keep myself grounded, keep myself on earth, so that the void wouldn't pull me away. And I think I felt like I was trying to grow roots or something like that, trying to keep myself as grounded as much as possible. So I was trying to make sure that the void won't pull me away, and I kept saying stay, hold, stay, hold. So I'm not entirely sure how I came to this mantra, and I meant it from a more like, I guess, kind of, when I guess in military kind of terms, when they say hold your fire, that sort of things. So I was trying to command my body to stay and hold. And this was one of the first few things I did to ground myself. And I think I was trying to make my soul or consciousness or whatever you want to call it stay in the body, hold on to the body, or at least I was trying to get my body to hold on to the consciousness or whatever you want to call it, because my consciousness was kind of drifting away from the body, and I was afraid if it drifted completely, I would probably be dead or something like that. So I was fighting very hard to keep, tether my consciousness to my body. Speaking of tether, I believe I found my frequency, so to speak, and this is by knowing my name. And because I understood my name, knowing my name and understood what it meant, the frequency of my name, I believe it's because of this I was able to find the coordinates from the body to my maybe consciousness or something like that in the void. So I believe my name itself was the very thing that kept me going, kept me sane, kept me grounded, kept me alive. And I kept holding on to my name. So I believe that was the hold part when I say stay, hold. And stay was more on stay in the body. So I guess I had the strategy of staying and holding the Kundalini chakra alignments and meditations. Even though back then I didn't know that was what I was doing. And speaking of meditations, after I awakened, I understood that I entered very high meditative states, such as the jhanas, formless states, and maybe what was it called? I think sunyata or something, where you enter this very high consciousness state where what was it? You become your higher self or something like that. I'm not very sure, but I believe that's what happened when I was in the void. Despite I don't remember exactly what happened and how and why, but I apparently went into very high states, and I guess I only found out about it after the whole collapse. What happened? So those were my strategies. Apart from that, I was also fighting, refusing to die, refusing to let the void take me. And that's probably why it was quite violent, I suppose. Since something was kind of pulling me and I was refusing it. I was not ready to go. I wanted to stay. I really wanted to be alive. Despite it felt like bliss. I don't deny it felt like relief to, just go and be one with the universe and all that stuff. It was really kind of, I did also felt some sense of liberation. I won't lie about that, but I was very frightened because I'm not ready to die, and I kept refusing it despite I went very deep. So those were also part of the things that I was fighting. And I guess those were the main key strategies that I instinctively use without really actually understanding it. And I heard a lot about only after the awakening um that Kundalini experiences that people might have a spontaneous awakening, and I think that was very, very close to what happened to me. And I think I spent the last few months trying to figure out what had been going on, why, and it looks like my soul already have such experiences, such kind of awareness, maybe in other lives or so, something like that. So I had been quite honestly, before all this, kind of a, say, skeptical person, scientific person. I mean, I am an open-minded person. I had been also, curious about what spirituality and things like that. And I'm an experimenter. I experiment more than believe. And I'm curious. So, for example, when there are things like spiritual stuff, I really try and see where it leads before I just say, oh no, there's no such thing as this is nonsense. No, I'm not a dogmatic kind of person. I'm a bit more explorative. So, and that's actually how science is supposed to be, of course. You're supposed to experience things because subjective experience is not scientific. It's nothing that you can really measure. And that's something a lot of people have been confused about. But that being said, this experience had been not very psychologically accepted, obviously, despite there are some research about it. And the only resources that I could get that were quite maybe some level of reliability is the Eastern approach of like things like Kundalini, awakening, and so on and so forth. Because if I did went through the maybe Western methods, they would probably say I had a psychotic breakdown. Despite I'm okay, I guess. I hope so. I'm still sane for some reason, and I still am able to get things done. I am functioning, and still quite healthy, and so on. So those are the kind of evidences that not everything is how it seems. And I believe in the idea that the map is not the territory. So things are quite, unusual and unexpected. And it's not always something that someone is crazy or something like that. But I am trying to explore and learn as much as I can. And slowly I had been finally a bit more ready to, in recent times, get into the whole Kundalini thing. I'm only like after 8 months after the whole experience. I'm only now starting to, take rest and meditate ish. I'm not really meditating much, but maybe stretching a bit more and just trying to listen to my body. Since I have been the type of person who live in my head more than my body, I suppose the Kundalini awakening kind of forced me to confront my body. I honestly do not know what happened. I wish it didn't, but it did, so I'm just trying to survive and come out from it, and hopefully eventually I could be able to thrive and get better and, share my experiences with others who might be going through something similar.